Hi friends, today we are going to be discussing famous artist Jasper Johns. Jasper Johns came into the art scene around the 1950s, so about 70 years ago. Before moving to New York and making a name for himself in the art world, Jasper lived in many cities in South Carolina and Georgia, and even lived in Japan for a little while he was drafted for the Korean War. Because of his childhood and how he grew up, Jasper Johns did not get to see very much art when he was younger. So it makes sense that when he got older and started making art, he was making art that was not like other artists of his time. He is typically considered a pop artist. This means that he uses images and objects and symbols that are very well known or popular in his art. So pop artist comes from the word popular. Some of the symbols that he would use included the American flag, so Jasper Johns did not design the American flag. So him using the flag in his artwork, is this him stealing art from other people? What do you think? This is a tough question to answer, and you're not right or wrong either way. Many people who did pop art would argue that it is not stealing because he didn't just copy the flag. He turned the flag into something different by using different materials and different ways of making it. He also used things like letters or the alphabet and numbers in his artwork, like in these paintings. Using common symbols and objects allowed Jasper Johns and the viewers of his artwork, that's you, to focus on the materials and processes of art making. So the materials are, what did he use to make the art, like paint and cut up papers and glue, and the process is, how did he put it all together? What steps did the artist take to make the artwork? To Jasper Johns, the process was the most important thing. He actually wasn't that concerned with the finished artwork. This meant that he destroyed a lot of his own artwork. Could you imagine spending hours and hours and sometimes days, months creating an artwork and only to throw it in the trash? He did that a lot. Destroying a lot of his art meant that his art is really rare and worth a lot of money, like in some cases $110 million. Think of it like a Pokemon card, right? If there are 500 Pikachu Pokemon cards and 500 people have that card, it's still kind of cool to have that card, but it's not as cool as having that card that only one person can have, right? That shiny holographic card of the rare Pokemon. You feel like that's even more cool to have that one. And that's how some people feel about Jasper Johns' artwork. It's really cool to have that artwork because there's not a lot of them. Jasper Johns did not only make artwork by himself, he actually liked to collaborate with other artists. And that just means that he made artwork with other artists. They worked together to make art. For our Jasper Johns activity, we are going to do some collaborating. This can work with one person as well if you don't have someone to collaborate with. When you are collaborating, you need to make sure that you are listening to everybody's ideas in the group. So you are getting to say what your idea is, and then everyone else in the group gets to say what their idea is. And we want to do this before we even start working. No cutting, no gluing, no painting, nothing until everybody tells their idea. And you might have an idea that's super awesome, fantastic, that you can't wait to try, but we want to make sure that we are letting everybody give their ideas, because sometimes someone else might give an idea that makes yours even better. When you put them together, they can become even better. So make sure we're talking about what our ideas are before we start working. Then, once we start working, we need to keep talking. We need to make sure that when we're putting something in there, that the whole group is on board with what you're doing. Make sure that we are listening to other people's ideas and letting other people put their ideas in the art, as well as putting your own in the art. We really have to keep talking. the whole time we're working. That's going to make your collaboration more successful for everybody, more fun for everybody. It's also very important that we are being kind to others when they're giving their ideas. We need to make sure that we have a safe place for everybody to give their ideas. So we're not going to put down other people for their ideas. We're going to figure out ways that we can work with everybody's ideas in one artwork. So everybody should have a little bit of themselves in that artwork. The art that we're making today is going to be focused on a symbol. You are going to get a common symbol and you are going to turn that into art. And you can do this a couple of different ways. We're going to look at a red square as a symbol and some examples of artwork that was inspired by this red square. So first, the art can look like the symbol. So this artwork looks like a red square. It's the same color, it's the same shape, it looks like the symbol. But I use different materials and different art processes using some collage and some painting to make this artwork. So it looks like the red square, but it's not the red square. Next, your artwork can have the symbol in it. So this artwork has some other shapes and designs. It doesn't look like one red square, but I have lots of squares going throughout this whole artwork. So that is an example of art that has the symbol in it. And finally, your art can be inspired by parts of the symbol. So in this artwork, I don't have a square, but I do have the corners of the square because I like those sharp corners of the square. And then I have the color red. So you can see how I went from this red square to this artwork here, but you don't see any red squares in my artwork. All those are great ways to be inspired by a symbol. So with that in mind, take your symbol, talk with your group, and find a way to make an artwork that is inspired by your symbol, as well as the art of artists like Jasper Johns. Happy creating, friends!